Have you ever walked into a room and felt the presence of someone who said almost nothing, yet somehow commanded everything? They weren't loud. They weren't trying to impress. No exaggerated gestures, no desperate need for attention. And yet, the energy in the room shifted the moment they arrived. Conversations softened. People leaned in. Not because of fear, not because of status, but because of something deeper, something rare. They don't chase approval. They don't perform for validation. They don't need to announce who they are. Their confidence is quiet. Their strength is invisible. And their magnetism is undeniable. This is not the kind of attraction you can fake. It doesn't come from looks, wealth, or clever words. It comes from inner mastery, the silent power the ancient Stoics understood thousands of years ago. In a world obsessed with being seen, being loud, and being noticed, the truly powerful move differently. The less they try to stand out, the more people are drawn to them. Because real magnetism isn't about what you project, it's about what others feel in your presence. Calm, safety, trust, stability. People aren't drawn to you because you're more impressive. They're drawn to you because when they're near you, their nervous system relaxes. The Stoics believed this was no accident. They taught that true attraction is the byproduct of self-control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a composed mind is the root of all inner beauty. When chaos doesn't shake you, when criticism doesn't harden you, when misunderstanding doesn't bend you, you emit a signal that others instinctively respect. True magnetism is revealed in how you respond to life, in restraint instead of reaction, in kindness without weakness, in steadiness when others fall apart. This is the kind of beauty that doesn't fade with age or circumstance. And in today's lesson here at Stoic Sage Academy, we'll uncover 6 timeless Stoic habits that don't make you magnetic because you're trying to be, but because you've become something rare in the modern world. Peaceful, disciplined, grounded, and quietly unshakable. Habit 1. Master the art of deep listening. In an age where everyone is racing to speak, to share opinions, to be heard and validated, the person who truly listens has become almost invisible, and because of that, incredibly powerful. Real listening is rare now, and rarity creates magnetism. Most people don't listen to understand. They listen only long enough to respond. While the other person is still speaking, their mind is already rehearsing the next sentence, the next argument, the next story about themselves. The Stoics warned against this restless mind. They believed that only a still mind can perceive truth. Epictetus reminded us, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen more than we speak." This wasn't advice about manners. It was instruction for mastery. Listening, in the Stoic sense, is not passive. It is an active discipline. It requires restraint. It requires the ego to step aside. When you listen fully, you are not merely hearing sounds. You are absorbing meaning, emotion, intention. You are present. Think about the rare experience of speaking to someone who truly listens. They don't interrupt to correct you. They don't glance away or check their phone. They don't rush to fix you or advise you. They remain still, attentive, grounded. And without realizing it, you begin to relax. You begin to open. You feel safe. That is power. A true listener doesn't dominate conversations, yet they dominate presence. They make others feel important without saying much at all. The Stoics viewed silence not as emptiness, but as strength under control. To remain silent when you could speak is not weakness, it is mastery. When you listen, you are not trying to win. You are not trying to prove intelligence or superiority. You allow yourself to be taught, and that humility creates a quiet confidence that people instinctively respect. In a world where everyone is trying to talk louder to be noticed, the one who chooses silence to understand becomes unforgettable. Their presence feels grounding. Their attention feels rare. Their calm feels magnetic. When you truly listen,
You are silently saying, "You matter. Your thoughts are worthy of space." And that message reaches deeper than any compliment ever could. So practice listening. Let your eyes communicate what your mouth does not. Let your silence become a refuge. When you do, you don't just become likable, you become someone people seek for calm. And that is a rare and powerful form of attraction. Habit 2. Build unshakable inner peace. There is a quiet kind of magnetism that cannot be explained logically. It belongs to those who remain calm while the world around them falls into disorder. When others panic, they breathe. When others react, they pause. When emotions run wild, they remain centered. Something about them feels safe, trustworthy, grounded. That is the pull of inner peace. In Stoic philosophy, peace is not the absence of chaos, it is independence from it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Tranquility comes when you stop caring about what they say or think, and only what you do." The Stoics understood a simple truth. The world is uncontrollable, but the mind does not have to be. Imagine your mind as still water. When it is calm, everything is reflected clearly. You can see truth, perspective, and proportion. But when the water is disturbed by anger, fear, or anxiety, nothing is clear. The same reality exists, but perception is distorted. Inner peace is not something you are born with. It is something you train. It is the result of repeated choices. Each time you choose not to react impulsively, you strengthen it. Each time you pause instead of panic, you cultivate it. When stress arises, the Stoics advised a simple question: is this within my control? If it is, act with reason. If it is not, release it. This single distinction is the backbone of Stoic serenity. The modern world rewards reaction, quick replies, emotional displays, constant urgency. But the Stoic chooses a different path. They observe first, they reflect, and only then do they respond. This deliberate calm gives them a quiet authority. They don't announce strength, they embody it. A peaceful person doesn't need to appear powerful. Their composure already speaks for them. They are not ruled by praise or wounded by criticism. Success doesn't inflate them. Failure doesn't break them. They understand impermanence. Everything passes. Only character remains. People are drawn to peaceful individuals the way one seeks shelter in a storm, not because they fix everything, but because being near them restores balance. They feel safe simply standing beside them, and the ability to make others feel at peace is one of the highest forms of attraction there is. To cultivate this peace, you don't need to escape the world. You need to step back from mental noise. Spend time alone daily. No distractions, no scrolling. Sit quietly, breathe, observe thoughts without chasing them. With practice, calm becomes natural. And when you carry peace within you, you don't need to announce it. Others sense it in your posture, your gaze, your silence. True peace cannot be imitated. It is the reward of self-mastery. And when you remain steady amid chaos, you don't just become magnetic, you become admirable.
Habit 3. Speak with intention, not impulse. Some people speak, and the room instinctively listens, not because they raise their voice, but because their words carry weight. Others speak endlessly, yet leave no impact behind. The difference is not confidence, it is intention. The Stoics believed words are tools. Used wisely, they heal. Used carelessly, they wound. That is why they valued restraint in speech. Epictetus taught, "Be silent, or let what you say be better than silence." For the Stoic, speech is not reaction, it is choice. They do not speak to dominate or impress. They speak when necessary, and when they do, their words are measured, calm, and sincere. This is why people listen, not out of obligation, but out of respect. Purposeful speech signals self-control, and self-control is the foundation of dignity. A person who knows when to remain silent demonstrates inner strength. They are not afraid of pauses. They do not fear being overlooked. They understand that silence can speak louder than noise. In a world flooded with opinions, the Stoic voice stands out precisely because it is selective. When you think before you speak, people sense that your words are not empty. They carry value. Notice the people you respect most. They are rarely the loudest. They are the ones whose words linger after the conversation ends. A single, well-chosen sentence can calm a troubled mind. A careless word can leave a scar that lasts years. Speech shapes reality. Speaking with purpose also requires integrity. When words and actions align, trust is built effortlessly. But when speech contradicts behavior, respect erodes instantly. The Stoics warned against empty talk. Don't explain philosophy, they said, embody it. And remember, the most important conversations are the ones you have with yourself. Harsh inner dialogue, constant self-judgment, silent comparison. These words shape your inner world. Learn to speak to yourself with patience and fairness. When your inner voice is calm, your outer voice becomes steady. An eloquent speaker may impress briefly. A purposeful speaker leaves a lasting imprint. True magnetism in speech does not come from volume, it comes from clarity of mind. So speak less, but speak deliberately. Let silence carry meaning. Let words reflect your inner peace. When you do, people won't just hear you, they will respect you. Habit 4. Stand firm in the fire of adversity. No one moves through life untouched by hardship. Pain visits everyone. Betrayal, loss, failure, disappointment. These are not exceptions. They are part of the human contract. Even the strongest hearts have moments when they break. Moments when what once felt certain suddenly collapses. But Stoicism teaches us this: it is not what happens to you that defines you, it is how you meet it. True magnetism is not revealed when life is easy. It is revealed when everything is shaking and you remain steady. Anyone can smile when the sun is shining, but the one who keeps their composure when the storm arrives, that is the person others remember. There is a rare power in someone who can carry calm in chaos. Someone who chooses gentle words even while their inner world is burning. In them, we see the strength everyone secretly longs for, the ability to endure without becoming bitter. The Stoics never viewed adversity as a curse. They saw it as training. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Hardship is not meant to stop you, it is meant to shape you. Just as steel gains strength only after intense heat, character is forged through resistance. Comfort softens, challenge sharpens. Resilience does not mean you feel nothing, it means you feel fully and still choose to stand. You may fall, but you do not stay down. You rise more grounded, more aware, more disciplined than before. That quiet recovery is resilience. There is a subtle magnetism in people who have suffered deeply, yet remain kind, who have been tested by life and still carry warmth in their eyes. Their presence feels solid, reassuring, real. When hardship strikes, the Stoics advised a shift in perspective. Do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this shaping me into?" That single question moves you from helplessness to growth. Pain loses its power when it becomes instruction. This is where amor fati enters, the Stoic practice of loving one's fate, not tolerating it, not resenting it, but embracing it. Seeing every event, even the painful ones, as necessary threads in your becoming. When you learn to accept life as it unfolds, you realize adversity does not diminish you, it deepens you. It gives weight to your words, steadiness to your steps, and meaning to your silence. A truly strong person does not announce their strength, they demonstrate it quietly. They do not complain loudly, blame endlessly, or beg for sympathy. They acknowledge the pain, straighten their posture, and continue forward. And that image, simple, composed, unbroken, is more magnetic than any display of dominance or noise. Others may never know the full weight you've carried, but they will feel it, in the calm of your voice,
in the steadiness of your gaze, in the confidence of someone who has faced the worst and kept their dignity. When you can move forward without resentment, without bitterness, without losing your humanity, you become more than strong. You become admirable. Habit 5. Choose integrity over applause. One of the fastest ways to lose your natural magnetism is to chase approval, to constantly adjust yourself to fit expectations, to say what is popular, not what is true, to shape your life around being liked rather than being aligned with your values. At first, it feels safe. You're accepted, you're praised, you belong. But slowly, something fades, your voice softens, your values blur, and one day you realize you've betrayed yourself for the comfort of others. Here is the paradox the Stoics understood clearly. The more you try to please everyone, the more invisible you become. But when you live according to principle, even those who disagree with you cannot ignore you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." For the Stoics, virtue mattered more than reputation. Approval changes with the wind, integrity does not. People may celebrate you one day and criticize you the next. Opinions shift, trends fade, but character remains. Integrity becomes your anchor in a sea of judgment. Integrity is courage in action. It is choosing honesty when silence would protect you, choosing truth when compromise would be easier, alignment over acceptance. And the remarkable thing is this: people of integrity rarely need to announce it. It reveals itself naturally, in consistency, in boundaries, in the way they treat others when no one is watching.
Many people pass through a phase of self-betrayal in the name of belonging. They soften their opinions, adjust their tone, hide parts of themselves just to fit in. But sooner or later, they realize approval offers no peace because it depends on something uncontrollable. When your self-worth rises and falls with other people's opinions, you will never feel whole. A magnetic person is not universally loved. They are consistently grounded. They do not bend themselves to be praised. They do not abandon values to avoid discomfort. They stand firm, even when standing alone. That steadiness creates gravity. Even those who disagree feel it. Even critics sense it. Stoicism teaches that worth comes from virtue, not applause. Seneca warned, "He who depends on another for happiness will never be happy." Freedom begins the moment approval loses its power over you. When you stop performing for others, you start meeting yourself. And when you are aligned with yourself, you become magnetic in a way that cannot be manufactured. Integrity does not make you cold, it makes you dependable. People may not always agree with your choices, but they trust your consistency. They know you won't deceive them or yourself. This is why people of integrity become anchors for others. They are sought for honest counsel, steady presence, and grounded energy. Living truthfully has a cost. You may feel isolated, misunderstood, even rejected. But remember this: temporary loneliness is far better than permanent self-betrayal. Those who leave because you live authentically were never meant to stay. And those who remain do so because they see you, not a performance, but a person. Integrity carries a quiet magnetism. It doesn't demand attention, it earns respect silently. True light does not argue for its brightness, it simply shines, and darkness adjusts on its own. When you live by your values, you don't chase recognition. You become the source others are drawn toward naturally. Habit 6. Commit to growth, not perfection. Many people exhaust themselves chasing perfection. The perfect words, the perfect image, the perfect life. They fear mistakes as if failure were a verdict rather than a lesson. But perfection is a mirage. The closer you think you are, the further it moves away. The Stoics never chased flawlessness, they chased progress. A truly magnetic person is not someone without flaws, but someone who is always refining themselves. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Do not expect Plato's Republic. Be satisfied with even the smallest step forward. Growth, not perfection, is the victory."
In Stoic philosophy, failure is not an ending, it is training. Just as the body grows through resistance, the mind matures through challenge and error. There is something strangely distancing about perfection. Those who try hardest to appear flawless often feel unreachable. But those who admit their struggles, who continue learning openly, inspire us because they are real. They remind us that value does not come from being mistake-free, it comes from being honest and willing to improve. True magnetism comes from movement, from the quiet dedication to becoming better one step at a time. A person focused on growth radiates humility. They don't compete obsessively. They don't compare constantly. They understand they are unfinished, and they are at peace with that. They don't boast, they don't pretend. They show up daily with discipline and patience, and that makes them deeply admirable. Think of someone who treats themselves with fairness. They don't punish themselves endlessly for mistakes. They study them. They ask, "What is this teaching me?" instead of, "What is wrong with me?" They understand that every fall refines them. Every scar marks courage. Every lesson strengthens character. Stoicism teaches that fulfillment comes not from perfection, but from living with reason and strengthening virtue daily. When growth becomes your focus, fear loosens its grip. Mistakes no longer define you, they guide you. You become gentler with yourself and stronger at the same time. You don't need to become your ideal self overnight. Progress, even small progress, is enough. And here is the quiet truth. When you stop trying to be perfect, you become authentic, and authenticity is irresistible. Everyone is tired of masks, tired of pretending. When you live honestly, even imperfectly, you give others permission to do the same. That shared humanity creates connection deeper than admiration. So don't fear errors. Don't hide your learning. Ask not, "Am I flawless yet?" but "Am I growing?" Each day, with patience, discipline, and trust in the process, change will happen. Not suddenly, but steadily. And that steady growth is far more powerful than perfection could ever be. In the end, the most magnetic person is never the one who claims to have arrived, but the one who keeps moving forward, eyes steady, heart open, and mind willing to learn again and again. They understand something most people forget. Life does not demand perfection. It asks only for honest progress. And if Stoic philosophy teaches us anything with absolute clarity, it is this: you may never control the final outcome, but you always command your effort, your response, and your discipline. That is where your true power lives. So don't fixate on the finish line. Focus on how you walk the path. Because in choosing the journey of growth, you don't just become more capable, you become quietly magnetic in a way no surface-level charm or outward beauty can ever imitate. When you eventually look back, you'll see that real magnetism never came from your appearance, your words, or your status. It came from the peace you carried, the self-mastery you practiced, and the honesty you lived by every single day. These 6 Stoic habits, listening with presence, cultivating inner calm, speaking with intention, meeting adversity with courage, choosing integrity over approval, and committing to growth, do more than draw others toward you. They return you to yourself. Because when you truly master your inner world, you stop needing to prove anything. You stop chasing validation. You realize that real worth is not measured by admiration, but by the respect you hold for your own character. Inner strength is not about being flawless or always right. It is about being grounded enough to recognize your mistakes, disciplined enough to correct them, and humble enough to continue growing. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, nothing brings peace to the soul except living in accordance with your nature. And when you live that way, magnetism stops being something you try to create. It becomes the natural byproduct of who you are. People will sense that strength, not in loud gestures, but in your eyes, in the way you listen, in the calm rhythm of your actions. They may not always know why they feel at ease around you, but they will feel it. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment and say, "I choose growth." Let it be a quiet commitment to progress over perfection, peace over performance, and truth over approval. And if you're ready to continue this journey, like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Stoic Sage Academy. Together, we build the kind of inner strength that stands firm, speaks softly, and commands respect in a noisy world. Because in the end, the most enduring magnetism is not about making people look at you. It is about making them feel calm, grounded, and safe when they are near you.